Okay, so this is homework number 8. Okay, I'm gonna start doing some of the questions here. If you have any questions or you don't understand something, then just leave a comment below. That way I can reply to you. So number 1 is talking about using the graph to determine if the triangles below are similar. So this is like what we did in class today and also what we did on Friday. Okay, so let me really quick draw the 2 triangles. Got my coordinate plane here. I've got A, and then it goes all the way down. Here's C. B is somewhere in here. Comes down this way, all the way to my axis. So let me go ahead and redo this. There's C, okay? And then B comes right here. All right, so what I'm looking for is the diagonals. Okay, so I need the diagonal from A to C, which is the bigger triangle. So I got AC line segment, and then also B and C, which is the smaller triangle. So B and C, that's my line segment. So I gotta get those two, what I'm figuring out there. So I just find point A, and then also point C, okay? So point A is -1, and then it goes up to 7, -1, 7. Then C all the way over here is at 7, 0. Okay, so once I have this, now I can do my y2 minus y1. Remember, the y's always go first on top. So this is going to be 7 minus 0 over -1 minus 7. So -1 minus 7. All right, remember you can put this in your calculator, do control divide, make your fraction bars, put the whole thing in, which is what I'm gonna do. Control divide, on top I got 7 minus 0, then on bottom, -1 minus 7. Okay, you get -7 over 8 is the slope for this big triangle. So I do the same thing for B and C, okay? We need to find out if they're similar or not. So point B, if I look on my paper, is at 3, and then it goes up 3. So B is going to be 3, 3. All right, C, I already have C, which is here. So C is going to be 7, 0. All right, so remember my y's go first, so what's on top? So 3 minus 0 over 3 minus 7. Okay, put this in your calculator, exactly how it looks. So I'm gonna do control divide, 3 minus 0 over 3 minus 7. Hit enter, you're gonna get -3 over 4. Okay, so it asks are the triangles similar? So if my numbers aren't the same, okay, which these aren't, okay, these aren't the exact same, so that means that these 2 triangles are not similar. Not similar. There you go. If they were the same number, then yes, it would be similar triangles. All right? Okay. All right, that was number 1. Let's move on to number 2. Okay, number 2 gives us a mapping diagram. And it asks, is it a function or not? Okay, so let me draw my mapping diagram really quick. Okay, I got my x's and my y's. Here I'm gonna have 3, 2, 1, 0, -1, and -2. Okay, here I got 10, 8, 6, 4, and 2. All right, so remember, to be a function, every x value has to have only one y value. Okay, so my 3, my arrow goes to 10. The 2, my arrow goes to 8. 1, my arrow goes to 6. 0, my arrow goes to 4. And -1 goes to 2, and then -2 also goes to 2. Okay, so I look at my x values. 3, okay, goes to 1 y value. 2 goes to 1 y value. 1 goes to 1 y value. 0, the same thing. -1, the same, and -2, the same. Even though these go to the same y value, it is still a function because it has x value only goes to 1 y. All right, so this is a function. That's all you have to put, function, or if you put yes, okay, or yes, it would be the same thing.
Yeah, I wanted to know if you could switch duties with me this week.
All right, so that's number 2. Pretty simple.
Tomorrow after school, I have the friend.
Okay, let's move on to number 3. Number 3 is kind of the same thing, except it's asking about the table. Is a table a function? Okay, so I'm going to draw my table. Okay, goes all the way down. Now these are my x's and these are my y's. So when I have the table, all I'm going to look at is this side of my table, the x. Okay, I'm just going to look at the x's. If any of those x's repeat on your table, then that means it's not a function. They all have to be different. Okay, in this case, here, okay, there's a 5 and another 5. So these x's repeat. What I have to do though is look at my y's. If it's the same y, then it's okay. But if it is different than those, then it's not okay. So I have a 7 and an 8. So these x values have 2 different y values. It can only have 1. So that means that this one is not a function. Not a function. Or if you just put no, that's okay too. Not a function because these 2 y values have 2 different, or these 2 x values have 2 different y values. You can only have 1. So that's why this one's not a function. I just didn't run the rest of the table. All those numbers are all different, okay? This is what I'm really looking at. The 5 going to 7, and then the 5 going to the 8. All right, that's number 3. Okay, number 4. Looks like we're doing some ordering, putting these numbers in order. It says from greatest to least, okay? Greatest to least. That's what that means. Let's put my numbers down. I got the square root of 9. I also got 301%, 2.89, and then also 3 and 1 over 100. So what I need to do is make these all the same. I need to make them all into decimals, make them all look the same. That way it's easier for me to put them in order. So square root of 9, you're going to put that in your calculator. It's the control button, and then you have the x squared, which is right next to the 4. So control x squared, 9, put that in. It's 3 if you didn't know. Okay, so this is 3. Okay, I'm going to put 3.00. This is the same thing. 3.01%. Remember, I just move it over 2 times. Okay, it's going to be 3.01. 2.89 is already in decimal form. 2.89. So now all I just need to do is a 3 and then the 1/100. So remember, to put this in your calculator, you have to put the plus symbol between the 3, the whole number, and the fraction, which is 1 over 100. Okay, so 3 plus control divide, 1 over 100. Okay, and then hit control enter is going to give you your decimal, which is 3.01. So from greatest to least, I need to find out which one's the biggest number. Okay, this one's going to have 2. All right, so we have 2 that are the greatest, which is this one and this one, so I guess it doesn't matter. We'll put 3.01% first. So 301%, comma, then you're gonna have 3 and 100, so 3 and then 1 over the 100. Remember, I write them back in the original form, okay? And then next is gonna be the square root of 9, and then 2.89. So this right here is your answer. Greatest to least, okay? Greatest to least, going down.